Here we are with our third video, making a market maker bot. Today we're going to see what the next step is. And Jamie, why don't you recap us on what we did the last video and then explain to us where we're going to go in this video, and then we'll share your screen and you can just kind of take it from here.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I think the last video was a good introduction in the technologies that you need to do this. So we talked about Docker being one of them, Git being the other one, and then also using and downloading an IDE, in this case Visual Studio Code, which you'll be seeing on my screen later. And so once you have those things, the next step is to kind of follow through their GitHub, which you can look up Genius Yield GitHub and for the market maker bot. And I'll also be sharing my screen so you can see it too. And we're going to walk through actually deploying and getting it up and running. So this video, I think, will be primarily focused on literally getting it running. There's a lot of things that you can do after the fact, like changing the config, how it's going to run, what token are you going to run it on. And I think those are some things we'll address down the road. But this is more of, we're going to walk through showcasing it running and then kind of explaining how it's running.
Nice. That's fantastic. So take it away. I'll share your screen here and we could just go ahead. Okay, so here we are looking at is this your terminal? What are we looking at?
Yeah, down here is my terminal. This is a template, which we'll talk about shortly. So I'm going to pull up the GitHub again, just so we can walk through the instructions. So in the first or second video, we talked about cloning and changing your directory to the market maker. This step is to copy the environment template. And I have the environment template up here right now. So these are the four things that are required to actually have the bot run. So you need the API key, which you can go to their website. You need to pay for it. You need to get a mainnet API key.
How much is that going to cost you?
I believe it's $9 a month.
$9 a month, okay. So there's an investment to this, right? This is an investment.
And then the seed phrase, which is you get from your wallet, you've written it down, the mnemonic phrase that you have.
For all
and
those...
here's a sample one. Okay. Obviously, this is not mine, but they give you this template so you can see how it's supposed to be saved.
Mm-hmm.
Every word is in double quotations and within a bracket.
For all of you that don't know what a wallet is for Web3, I'll go through and show you. I'll take you through setting up a wallet, where we'll look at the seed phrase and actually go through the process of setting up a wallet. I have touched on that in videos before, but I recognize that a lot of us out here maybe watching the channel don't have a wallet yet. So yes, that's a 24-word seed phrase. Continue.
Yeah, so then there's, based on the Cardano ecosystem, there's a UTXO. And so I think that's something Derek will probably talk about at some point, that how you get this. If you have a Lace wallet, I think, again, maybe Derek, you can comment on this, how you get this.
Yes, it's actually really simple. It's kind of like a little bank account where you can deposit and withdraw funds in the Cardano native ecosystem. And then what happens is, if you want to interact with a DApp, which is a decentralized application, like a DEX, decentralized exchange, or anything that connects your wallet to it, and you want to actually interact with the wallet, you're going to need to set what's called collateral. It's a 5 ADA. You're gonna set as collateral, and there's a little collateral button in every wallet, and so it's extremely simple. That 5 ADA is always going to be yours. It just locks it into the collateral feature, and then if you want to unlock your 5 ADA collateral, you can do that at any time, and that just allows you to go ahead and interact with dApps. And that's, like, without being too complex, that is a kind of description on what that is.
Yeah. Thanks. So that's something you do need to input here. And again, here's a sample of it. Just so you know, when you get the phrase or the address for that, it always has this like #0 at the end of it. So that's how you know you got the right one.
Okay.
And because when I was doing the whole process, there's, I think, multiple things you can see, and I want to make sure that people understand which one you need. And then the last thing is a stake address. in this case, um, again, there's a stake one. I think the mainnet and the testnet have a different stake. I think it might be stake 0 or stake 1. I'm not 100% certain, but that's also required for this to run. And then once you have those, again, those variables set, then we can start running this.
Yeah,
So what I'm going to do is actually
just
queue the
okay.
market
Go
maker
ahead.
bot.
I just wanted to, right before you do that, the stake address is it comes with your wallet. So when you actually like go through downloading a wallet or uploading a wallet, which we'll do at the end of the video, you get three things actually that come with it, which is like really fantastic. You get a private key, which is your 24-word passphrase that gives you access to that wallet should you lose your computer or something happens where you need to restore your wallet somewhere. So you get the private keys. Those are your private keys, and then you get your public address, which is what you would send. Like I could send Jamie my public address, and he could send me some ADA. This is what you can share between peer to peer, kind of like a house where you have your public address where people can drive by and see your actual number on your house. Everybody can see it's public information, and then you own the private keys that actually get you into the house. With a wallet, also you get a third thing, which is your stake address. So in Cardano, we have liquid non-custodial staking, which is a very fancy word that means that you can stake the assets of your wallet to a stake pool, or in this case, we're going to publish our stake address here into the market maker bot. And it's liquid non-custodial, meaning it represents your wallet, but no one can have access to your funds. And it's a very fantastic innovation that Cardano has pioneered in this space. And so that's what that stake address is. So it's easy. I'll show you that in the wallet too. It's just like super duper simple, unless you've never heard it before, which you're like, what the heck is that? Okay, continue on. So now we're about to really get into the nuts and bolts, huh?
Yeah, so one thing that you must have, so when you start to actually deploy this, you need to have Docker desktop open, the thing you downloaded. So like, for example, Docker desktop, you open it, and I have it running here, or I have it open. I'll phrase it that way. And so this is one of the containers. You can see it says Market Maker, named after the repository I'm in. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it up. So you can see the first command is, this is how you update it, Docker compose poll, which I'll run right now. Don't worry about this warning. It's just due to formatting stuff. And then Docker compose up, which will actually deploy it. Again, same warning. And then, so when I ran it this time, there was an error. Sometimes it happens when you have, like, for example, I had deployed mine already. So I'm going to delete it and try it again. So when you open it, it should look like this. Compose app. We'll have this like spinning thing. There's nothing there going on. So we'll try it again. Yeah, it looks fine now. So you can see initializing, it's starting it, and then these are, I could update my packages, but so you'll also see the same logs here. Mm-hmm. I prefer to, I think the -D makes it not show any logs in your terminal. So here's all the logs. I'm going to walk through them now so people can understand them. Maybe I'll do it in here. I'll have them both open. So let's start from the beginning.
Nice. Okay. Yes. Because I'm like,
Yeah. So in here, there's this is all logging, like giving you information about what's happening. So in this case, you can see the strategy config. This is the strategy that's been defined ahead of time, which you can find in the Docker compose file, which we'll talk about. The next part is getting pricing information, querying the UTXO at the location, and eventually you'll see something about placing an order. So in this case, I put it below the threshold. And so you see bot has to place one buy orders, but lacks funds, excluding collateral. So it wanted to place an order for 2,000 ADA, but I had only 518. So no order was placed.
Okay.
And you can see all the information: equity in orders, equity in wallet, total equity, and then you'll see finish strategy, done for the block. And obviously, if you had orders placed, again, my stuff was below the threshold, so it didn't actually do anything. But this is it's running, and every 2 minutes you can specify how often you want it to run, based in microseconds. I believe it runs every 2 minutes, and you can set it up for 1 minute, 5 minutes, an hour, and all that stuff is configurable. But the first thing, again, we wanted to do here is just actually show it running. And, we followed the instructions here, and there it goes again. It ran again.
Okay, so this is actually running right now.
Yeah. Every 2 minutes, it's attempting to buy something. It's attempting to place an order. But again, the amount of money I have or ADA in this account is insufficient for what it's trying to place the order, and you can configure that too.
So,
but the point is to get it running.
When you first started this, just like this, and you kind of like put the template in, it's automatically trying to make an order for 2,000 ADA. So like, I'm just saying that if you had 3,000 ADA in your wallet, it would just put that order there like right away.
Exactly. It should be submitting the order.
Is there a way? Is there a way where you could set it up? So did you strategically have less than 2,000 in your wallet so that it wouldn't place an order, so that you can then do the configs? Because, might you be upset if you had like 5,000 ADA in your wallet and all of a sudden you just kind of launched this up and boom, all of a sudden it just sold 2,000 ADA?
Right. I think, well, that's sort of what the testnet's for, is to figure out and config the thing. But we wanted to, deploy this and showcase it actually doing something.
Nice. Yeah, totally. For sure.
So yes, you're right. You could be upset if you accidentally, had like, this is all the Cardano you have and you start market making off of it. Yeah. Maybe you're not very happy now, but you can configure that. And
can you figure it? Can you configure it before you launch it, or?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So the Docker Compose, it's not configurable after the fact. So there's this token volume phrase here. I tweaked it a little bit beforehand, but you can. This defines how much you're buying. This how much you're selling. The amount of volume, and then also the token you're going to be, which in this case is gens.
Great.
And again, if we go back to the GitHub, if you scroll down, they do talk about each variable.
Nice. Okay.
So for example, how often it's going to be doing stuff, the API key, how often you want it to look at the open, high, low, close data. Okay. I believe it takes it from the close. The DEX that you're getting the market price from. So I have it set for Genius Yield because we're trading on Genius Yield.
Nice.
And then if you want to do the testnet stuff, you can override it, the pair, so you can do the test gens. And then this is where it gets into the meat and potatoes, where it's the strategy config, the strategies that you would be actually deploying. So again, the stuff I was mentioning, the buy budget, the sell budget, you can tweak that to how much you want to be actually trading. And they show you the calculations for what they're going to be doing with it.
Nice. That's wonderful.
And I think the other thing that's important too, if you want to cancel all your orders, they do also mention how to do that. So you need to change the mode to cancel.
Okay.
And export just locally exports the variable. And let me see if I can pull this up. So the mode is right here.
Okay.
And so that's where you would be overriding it to cancel all your orders.
Okay, great. Yeah, because sometimes the price moves away from your target substantially, so that you can cancel and sort of reset.
Right, and you might just not want to be trading right now, and you need to get out or whatever, and that's how you could do it.
Nice. Because this thing is just constantly, going after trades. That's
Right.
fantastic. Okay. Yeah, I think it'll be really cool. I remember when I watched Dr. Lars do the demo where, perhaps in the next video we can, set this up, fund it correctly, or, go through some configs and then have actually Genius Yields the front end up and then make a trade or something on the back end like this and then see it on the front end also. You can kind of see your trade sort of populate on the front end from actually tweaking it here on the back end.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's a good goal. And I think one thing that's important to note, I have it up now,
Yeah.
the pair
Mm-hmm.
ADA gens. If you look at this, it's already pretty illiquid. Like there's not many orders even going through.
Yep.
And so that's where like something like this is going to, the point of all this is furthering the ecosystem of Genius Yield and
Mm-hmm.
providing the ability for people to actually trade
Yeah.
on these markets, a decentralized market. Because if
Yep.
you go to some of these other pairs, there's not enough orders. You're not even
Mm-hmm.
seeing anything right now because there aren't enough orders to come through. Maybe someone placed an order, but it's not being filled because there's not enough liquidity.
Go back to that
And
gens pair. Yeah, I know. And then click the order book. Okay. So those are like some of the orders there. Yeah, so totally. I mean, I think that there's a fantastic opportunity to kind of get involved with this right now and start to take advantage of this as it begins. We're doing this video on Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Probably the video will probably come out a couple days after. Um, but then in the first week of December, you got Dr. Lars having a video with some of the other founders of Genius Yield in partnership with Fluid Finance, and they are going to dramatically work on the front end and revamp the entire site. As folks might know, that Genius Yield launched on the mainnet December 15th last year, so it's coming up on 1 year. The way that looks, and there's no secret that a lot of the issues or comments from Genius Yield is that it needs to sort of step up to the plate as far as how the front end looks. The back end is so incredible and so brilliant. They need to kind of get on par with the front end, and I think that more people, as Genius Yield ramps up their smart order routers and they're weaving in like AI tooling and things like that, and then this partnership with Fluid Finance could bring a lot more people. I'm seeing the price of gens sort of catch up a little bit. It's been on a downward spiral for a long time, and so this is exciting because if you have some gens tokens like I do, because from the ISPO and beyond have been staking in their vaults, which is a feature of their website or on their site for a while. So I got some gens tokens that I'm excited to deploy on this. And yeah, right now we can all take advantage of this because it's open source. It's completely permissionless, so anybody can do it. So shout out to anybody who's following along. We got some good comments and we're excited. So Jamie, what else are you what's in your mind right now? Because I know that you have this down mentally way beyond me. And so what are you thinking about now as far as, what we can show in this video and then kind of leading into what we'll be doing next video, probably in the first week of December there?
yeah, I think there's two things. One, there are operational costs on my screen. Again, they have outlined, for example, there are flat fees and percentage fees
Mm-hmm.
that occur. Like this isn't a free thing. This isn't just going to instantly make you money and then you can go retire in
Mm-hmm.
Florida. It's not that simple. There's there's a barrier to entry, but there's also cost to do it, like the $9 a month for uh, the data subscription, and then obviously the order placement. So I just wanted to highlight that as one. Two, I think the thing that I wanted to show, or we wanted to show in this video, is how to literally get it running,
Mm-hmm.
and then obviously tweak it. And so for right now, okay, there's not enough funds in this account. We'll fund it and we'll showcase it. Um, I think it will be a cool learning experience, one for us, but two, also for people following along. how the config actually works, and that's because it gets into more of the mathematics behind it and order books and spreads and whatnot. So I think the second thing on my mind is like, how do we actually configure this in a way that actually makes some money and also provides liquidity to the DEX as well.
Fantastic. Yep. Okay, great. So the next video we're going to do is we're going to actually config this thing, and maybe we'll do it with like a test account or something. Put that up there, config it, so viewers can see that process and then see our orders maybe get placed on the DEX itself.
Yeah.
And that'll be cool. Maybe some will initiate and actually go through during the time that we're showing the video. So that's exciting. That's great. So it's up and running. We got it up and running.
Yeah.
Step-by-step process. It's something that you want to be
It's running.
about. Yeah, you don't want to rush these things, as Jamie said. Spend some time thinking about your strategy or plan, go in the test net, although it's a little different. It is a little bit of a workaround. Like last night you were talking to me about how, it's not as straightforward. Like you had to actually kind of do certain things to get this running that were different than, the cookie cutter sort of outline from Genius Yield. Do you want to touch on that? Because, I would be completely blockaded by that. I'd be like, how did you
right. So
yeah,
I ran into some issues with the stake address. I was getting a couple errors related to that, saying like your stake address is invalid. So I just removed it altogether from the Docker Compose file.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be in here. It used to be right here. I removed there was an MBC stake address, I believe. There's a variable here that if you clone the repository, it would be here. I just deleted it for the time being because I was getting I don't know if it's mapped incorrectly but within the market maker config. It was having an error, so I just circumvented it with that. And then I also, normally, this is really bad practice coding wise, but this is how environmental variables are supposed to be saved. So for example, this is looking in the environment for this collateral U2XO, which is here. It's saved here. Everyone in this file can access it through this naming convention. I had to override my API key though. Normally it's not saved like this. It's normally saved like this. Same thing with the seed phrase. So I had to override this. It was not pricing or doing stuff correctly unless I populated it. So I'm going to look into that a little bit more, but I had to override some things to get it to work, it is what it is. Again, this is really, really bad practice. Leaving your variables out here like this, but those are two things. I guess if you have any issues with them, I think maybe address that in the comments, and we can talk and help you out if you need help on getting this to the point where we have it, where it's actually running.
Nice.
Again, I think the last thing to recap too is don't just do this on your main wallet and just hope that it's going to just make you money. Like we talked about earlier, it's going to do something in your account that you might not like, aka start trading, and you might not realize what you're doing. So again, this is why we're taking it slow. Again, this is the reason why this is deployed, but it's not actually actively trading at the moment because I'm not sure I'm happy with this config. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure I'm happy with this setting up the spread and all that stuff. I'm not sure I want to trade on this token. Like there's many things that we have to discuss and deploy, and maybe doing it on the test net, which if there's feedback that people want to see it actually on the test net maybe a little bit, then we could do that too. But this isn't actually running. Is it trading completely? No, and we need to tweak a little things before that. But I think we wanted to make this as real of a process as possible, where it's not just start to finish in 20 minutes.
Yeah, certainly. No, it's a serious thing. And like you said, there's cost to it. There are risks and there are considerations. And so that's why, we're taking it slow. We're not just funding this this bad boy right away. All of a sudden, we want this thing to be advantageous to us, and there's so many strategies. Like I can. The way that I look at this is that I think that once people really begin to understand through just the exposure, like these videos that are going to come out from the main team, this partnership with Fluid Finance, Genius Yield has a very fantastic, reputable presence in the Cardano ecosystem. Lars being one of the Plutus pioneer educators. He's the director of education for Input Output Global. They know what they're doing as far as the back end stuff, and when they really start to deploy their roadmap, I think you're going to get a lot more people in, and there's going to be so much competition as far as these configs and strategies, as far as how people are tuning these market maker bots and setting up multiple, right? You could set up multiple, I guess, market maker bots in the same market, right? Like you could set up multiple Genius Yield token market maker bots that are doing different strategies, right? Like effectively, right? Could you? Or with different wallets, or how does that work? I mean, I just see that there's so much going on, and people will take this real serious because there's an opportunity to be profitable. But that is the goal. It's not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah, 100%.
So, all right, my man. What are some final words? I'll leave you with the last word, and then we'll get excited for, what is it going to be, step 4? Step 4.
Yeah, so while this is running, I think one thing that's important to note is how do you stop this? It's running. How do you stop this?
Cool.
In the terminal, what I'm going to do, there's multiple ways to do this, but I usually do Control-C on a Windows computer. I think it's, so you'll see gracefully stopping. I'm going to let it gracefully stop just because I'm a nice person. But you can force or brute force stop it. So there the container stopped, and you should see, usually there's some green coloring that it's running. And again, the logging, I like having it in both places just so I can see it's uniform, but you can see it exited with this code. I think that's the code for it gracefully stopping or whatever. It stopped. You can also do, another one is, you can do Docker compose. There's Docker compose pull, Docker compose up, and Docker compose down. So that'll stop it.
Okay. Is that the brute force stop?
Yeah, so I actually remove the containers here.
Okay.
Which sometimes I'll do just so I can make sure I'm starting from a clean slate. But you can see now there's no container anymore here.
Oh, okay. Nice. So, yeah. Okay, great. And I think that people should exercise those, when you're tweaking this and you're getting it running, I think
you have to know how to stop it. I think that's one thing that's really, there's a lot of really nuanced things that you could just skip over. Like, how do I actually just stop this? Or even just start it in the first place? And I'm trying to cover all those. I think we're just trying to cover all those, weird things that maybe other people aren't going to cover because general assumptions on, technology background or that you know how to work in the terminal, and I think that will help people.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. This has been enlightening for me, and I know that there's so much more ahead, and it's going to be really quite the process to continue this down the road and set this bad boy up and see what happens through the DeFi summer that I feel like we're about to get into. Cardano decentralized finance ecosystem has not seen a bull market yet. And that is quite exciting because when an ecosystem has its first bull run, there are some wild volatility, leverage opportunities that present themselves like they would never will again in another bull market, perhaps 4 years from now or something. So super exciting, man. Well, thanks for your time. Thanks for everybody who's watching. We will see you all in the next video. And thanks, Jamie.